How would you like to be able to monitor the status of your tires as well as view what's going on behind your RV as you're traveling down the road all on one screen? Also, getting rid of some of that clutter on your dash. You can do all of that with HaloView's new BT7 TPMS system. We're going to install that on this episode of Roaming with Rosie. Hey roamers, it's Jamie back at you. What I'm going to be talking about today is the new backup camera system that HaloView sent us to install on Rosie 2.3. Now when we had the alpha, HaloView reached out to us and asked us if we'd like to put one of their systems in the alpha. And what we ended up putting in was the BT12, which is a system that has a dash cam and a rear cam. It's a backup camera, but also as you're going down the road, it's on full time and monitoring everything that's going on. When we had the blowout, and I'll put a link in the description for that video so you can see it, the BT12 actually recorded all the debris going out the back of the RV as the blowout happened. So now that we have the new RV, I wanted to put in a system, and I was going to put in the BT12, but then HaloView reached out and said, hey, we have a new system that we'd really like to have you install and test out and do a review on it. So what they did is they sent us this system. It's the HaloView BT7 TPMS. And you can probably guess what it is based on the TPMS. It's a tire pressure monitoring system. It provides real-time monitoring of your tire pressure and temperature, as well as giving you a clear view of what's going on behind your RV as you're driving down the road. The 7-inch touchscreen display will automatically cycle through each tire one by one every 5 seconds. This allows you to monitor each tire without having to switch through the TPMS menu. The TPMS readings can be enabled or disabled. That way you can customize your display to avoid obstructing the view of your cameras. It also functions as a backup camera system with 1080p recording that will support up to 4 cameras. So let's go ahead and see what's included. Just to be clear, HaloView sent this out to us at no charge for us to do a setup and review for you. First, we got the monitor. It's a 7-inch monitor. Right here on the left-hand side, you have your pairing button and also a slot for your micro SD card, which they also include. And then if you go on the opposite side, you have your power button, your Type-C input, and then also your DC input. And then when it is on, there's a red light that pops up down here to tell you that the power is actually on. And then there's also a speaker in the back here, right down here. And then it also has hookups for your 2 antennas, which they also include. And then they also send you the backup camera. So that's included along with the antenna. If your RV is already pre-wired for a backup, say like you have a trailer or something and they've already pre-wired it, they have this connection that will go to the camera and then into your pre-wired stuff. If you don't have that, they also have, if you have to run a wire, they have this connection which will actually connect into the camera, and then you can wire up your 12 volt the way you need to. And then they also include the pairing cable, so when you go to set up your system, you're going to have to pair the back camera with your monitor. The other thing that they include is a mount that's a VHB mount, so if you want to mount it permanently, you can do it that way, or a suction cup one if you want to put it on a windshield or something like that. And then they also include 2 boosters, depending on the length of whatever you have. Say you have a long 5th wheel and then you have a truck. They include 2, so you may want to put one towards the front of the RV and then another one towards the back. This system that they sent us was a 6 sensor unit, so they sent us the 6, and then I told them that we're also going to have the tow vehicle, so they also included another 4 sensors, so we have a total of 10. The other thing that they did include was also the batteries needed to go in there, and they're your typical C1632 watch batteries. They also include, there's these they're called backup nuts, and if you've had a tire pressure monitoring system, most of you have probably seen these. You screw these on first and then you put your sensors on and then you back these up and tighten them down, and that's supposed to help with theft. They also include these zip ties for when you put your signal boosters on your RV. Like I said, you can order a four sensor system, or you can do a 6 sensor system. They have each one, and price is dictated by how many sensors you're going to have. And then if you need more sensors, you can obviously get more and add them to your system. Now you can go with just the system the way it comes, or you can customize it any way you want. Like I said, it'll support up to 4 cameras. Our last RV, we had a dash cam, so I wanted that again to be able to record what's going on in front of us if we were to have an accident or whatever. So they sent us a dash cam that records in 1080p as well. It comes with your power cord to hook up to your 12-volt source, and they also give you these plastic things that stick to your windshield, and then your camera sticks to those. So that way you're not permanently mounting that to your windshield. Say you needed to have your windshield changed out, you'd be able to just pull this plastic thing off, put a new plastic thing on, and then put it back the way it was. The other thing that I wanted to add to the system is it's a battery operated camera, so it's wire. You don't have to run any wires to it. It runs off of batteries, and you can recharge those with this cord. You recharge it on your 110 service. It's the BTC 126 1080p handy camera. And how this thing works is back here on the back of the camera is magnetic. They give you a magnetic plate with 3M VHB on the back, so this will mount to your RV and it will stay there permanently, and then it sticks to that like that. You can take the camera off when you need to charge it. So say you do your trip, the camera's working the entire time, it's recording, sending everything that's to your monitor on your micro SD card. Once you get to your campsite and you're all set up, you can basically go up on the back of your RV, pull it loose, and then it has a charging port right here where you can plug this in and charge it up. And then this is your power button, so you can turn it on and off, and then your pairing button is up here. Basically what this did for me is it made it so that I didn't have to go through trying to run a line from where my batteries were all the way back to where the camera was. So it's going to make the setup really easy. And this camera, I think, would work out really well for a lot of other people. And whether it's a travel trailer or a motorhome, I think it's really pretty neat. The other thing is it's magnetic on the bottom too. So if you wanted to use it on your trailer, when you're on your truck, when you're backing up to your trailer, and then you could put this where your ball is, and you could back up to where your trailer hitch is, and then you'd have a bird's eye view of where your ball is in relationship to your hitch. So the first thing I'm doing as far as the install for the cameras is I'm gonna hook up my signal boosters. Where I'm gonna be putting it is on the bay just in front of these rear tires. So what I've done is I got my wire, and I got some of this irrigation black tubing to protect the wire underneath the RV. It had alligator clips on the end here. I cut those off. I need to make the connections here. Okay, so that's connected. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mount my signal booster. So I need to pull this off the red tab, get that off, stick that there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working my way down with my wire here towards the front. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start sticking these along the way. So that secures that nicely right there. And I just work my way down here and put one, I don't know, maybe every 1.5 feet. Okay. So we have all those mounted. I ran this long because I know I'm going to need wire inside my bay here to be able to hook it up to the 12-volt source. And now we got power. You can see that green light. So we're all good. Now that we got our signal booster all installed, the next step is pairing up these cameras. The handy cam is really super easy. So what I've done here is I've hooked up my monitor. I hooked it up to this 12-volt source off of my dash here. And like I said, it's a touch screen. See, right now you got your lines, your backup lines, and it's saying there's no signal because we don't have anything hooked up to it yet. And this is basically for your TPMS system. So we're going to go ahead and touch that. We're going to go to the menu, and we're going to hit pairing. First thing I'm going to pair is I'm going to pair the rear camera, the handy cam. When I push the button, when you have the four lights all lit up, that means it's fully charged. Okay, so now we got it paired. You can see on the monitor. What I did was I shut the audio off on the monitor because otherwise you'd have an echo chamber going on in here. So we have that one done. Okay, now we got it all paired. So like I said, it has this metal plate that I've already got stuck to the back and the VHB tape. So I'm going to pull this red tab off. Okay, so that's mounted. And then if I ever need to charge it, it just comes off like that. And it sticks just that easy. All right, so we got the back one done. Now let's go pair up the dash cam. So you can see we got a blue light on the dash camera. So there's power going to it. Got to go into our menu, go to pairing, and then we need to hit the pairing button on the camera. So now we have it paired. As you can see, that's the bottom side of my cabinets. So I already cleaned the windshield where I want my camera to go, and then there's these little plastic sheet things. They're kind of like almost like a screen protector for your cell phone. What these do is they stick to your windshield, and then you stick your camera to that, and that way, if you ever need your windshield replaced, you just pull this loose and it'll come off relatively easy compared to the VHB that's on the back of the camera. So now we have both cameras paired up. I'm going to show you right here. We got that's the rear camera view, and then if I hit this and I go to camera 2, that's the front camera view. So those are both set up, and if I wanted to, I could set it so it could cycle through, or I could also set it so it would split the screen and have front on one side and back on the other. When I'm driving, I prefer to have my back camera on so I can see what's going on behind me. Next thing we need to do is, because we have the cameras and these are recording, this system will record, they give us a chip, an SD card, so we want to go ahead and put that in the monitor here, so when we're driving down the road we're recording what's happening. Also, one thing I want to let you know that even if you're not seeing the view of the front camera, it's recording full time on the SD card. So say you had 4 cameras on there, it would be recording everything from all 4 cameras. Okay, so your SD's on this side, and it actually gives you a little picture of how it's supposed to go in. Once you hear it clip in, you're good to go. Next step in the process is let's move to the TPMS system. Start getting the sensors all synced up and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the sensor. Basically, the top on screws, we have our battery. And it tells you right there, plus side up. So you slide it in like that. Put your cover back on. And that one's done. So we have all the batteries in the sensors now, 10 of them. So we got 6 for the RV itself and 4 for the tow vehicle. What we need to do now is go out and take our monitor with us and set up each sensor on each tire. So they give you these little like lock nuts. Basically what you do is you put this on your stem first, and it's supposed to make it so that when you put your sensor on there, you back this out onto the sensor, and it's supposed to prevent somebody from being able to steal your sensors. You want to screw it in there far enough so that you can get the sensor on there and then back it on. onto the sensor. So you have to have the monitor next to the sensor where you're going to be connecting that to the system. You have to have a power source to be able to do that, and then they give you a Type-C connection that will plug into the monitor, and then it plugs into what source you have. We have this Lion Energy, it's called the Lion Energy Cub JC. It's basically a jump starter for jumping your battery. So I have it plugged into that. When you look at the monitor, there's a thing in the front, looks like a motorhome, and then this says T1, which is trailer 1. So we'll go ahead and hit that. Then as you can see, all your tires are grayed out. This will handle up to 32 sensors. What I want to do is I want to program the driver's side front tire. I want to go ahead and hit that. It's grayed out, but there's a yellow line around it. It gives you 15 seconds to screw this onto your valve stem. So I'm going to hit auto learn, and it says it's waiting. Okay, so that's on there. Currently my tire pressure is 98 pounds and the temperature of that tire is 86 degrees. So that one's set. If you wanted to, you can manually do it. I'll show you later on the top of one of the sensors. Each sensor has a little number on it, an ID number. You could plug that in here and plug it in manually if you wanted to. Seems like a lot more work than just coming out and doing this and hitting auto learn. I'm highlighting the sensor that I want to program, which is the driver's side rear, and then so I have that one highlighted. Just hit auto learn, and let me screw this on. And there it is. Alright, so we have that locked down. Now we're ready to take it out on the road and see how it performs. The cameras and then also the TPMS. Let's get the monitor back in the RV and head on down the road. Alright guys, so what we're doing is we are taking it out for a test drive. We actually hooked up the car so we could see how that looks. So that's the rear camera. If I hit that, I can go to camera 2, which is the front view camera. So that's what we're seeing out the windshield. And then up here, the driver's side now is 96 psi and the temperature is 66. It's doing the passenger outer dual. Now the passenger inner dual. And it'll go to the driver's side inner dual and the outer dual. It's 95 psi, 62 degrees. And then it'll go over to the tow vehicle, the passenger side 32 pounds, driver's side front 32 pounds. So it's constantly doing that as you're going down the road. So you can kind of glance over and see what you got going. So that's really pretty cool. I would leave it just like that. I don't think I would change anything. That's kind of really nice. So when I'm driving down the road, I can see what's going on behind me and then just glance to see what my tires are doing. You're getting all of that on one screen. That's great. As I'm going down the road, I like to have it on my rear camera so I see what's going on behind me. So we're going to take it out and go for a little test drive and see how it looks. You know, after looking at this monitor, it's a lot clearer than our other one was. Comparing that to the camera that's on the backup camera is night and day. That's my turn signal camera, and when I back up it's exactly the same. Yeah, these are both really crystal clear. Now that we have all the sensors on, we've done our test drive, and I showed you what it looked like as we were driving down the road. Now we need to go in and program our high pressure alarm and our low pressure alarms, and also our heat alarm. So first thing we want to do is we want to click on whatever tire it is we want to set. So I'm going to click on this one. And right now it's saying the high pressure alarm is going to be 116. So if I want to change this, what I need to do is just highlight that, and I go over here and hit this back button, and it'll get rid of those two numbers. I want my tire pressure to be at 100 psi, and in the manual it says you want your high pressure alarm to be 120% of what you want your tire pressure to be. So 120% of 100 psi is 120 psi. So I've backed off those two numbers. I want to go ahead and put in 2 and then 0. So I got 120 psi, and then I hit this button and you hear it beep, and that one's set. So now the low pressure psi should be 80%, which in this case works out to 80 psi. So I want to click on this, go with the back button, remove those two, 8, 0, enter. That's how easy it is to set those. The high temperature is 158, and I'm going to leave that alone. Everything I've read and all the forums that I've read said to leave it at 158 degrees. So I'm not changing that. One thing that I did notice as I was going through here in programming, when you set one side of one axle, it automatically sets the other side of that axle to the same reading. So if I click on that, as you can see, I have the same readings. So I've already done all my settings on all the rest of my tires, including my tow vehicle. Everything's set up, it's ready to go down the road, and like I said, it's really a simple thing to use. Really enjoy this. Although HaloView sent us this system at no charge, we will only review products where the company agrees to let us do a full and honest review. We feel that our obligation is to you, our viewers and our followers. That being said, you're seeing this video because we wanted to show you how HaloView's new BT7 TPMS and backup camera system is a big improvement compared to the rest that are out there on the market. We were completely unsatisfied with our previous tire pressure monitoring system. The catastrophic rear tire blowout that we had back in November caused enough damage to total our Alpha Sia diesel pusher. A better tire pressure monitoring system was high on our list of priorities when we purchased our new motorhome, and I feel that we found a system that's going to work out really well for us. Now, if you'd like to purchase this system or any other product from HaloView, we have a discount code down in the description of this video, or you can also find that on the Roaming with Rosie website. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you'd share it with your friends and family on social media. And if you're not yet a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. That way you'll be notified each time we upload a new video. And make sure to leave a comment. That way you could be part of the conversation. Until next time, we'll see you.